Council, we have a lot of comments from our audience, and we appreciate the patience of those being here. Our policy is that we allow everybody to speak and have the opportunity to speak. As you know, speaking at a city council meeting is a privilege, it's not a right, but we allow that privilege here. We'll give you a few minutes to speak, and we ask that you keep it civil and considerate of others. We've got kids here, and so we like a certain level of consideration for everybody. But first, Perry Elam. Mr. Elam, welcome, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, council, staff, citizens. A couple of things. First of all, I want to clarify some things. I'm here in Crockett, Texas, and I'm very adamant about some things. One of the things, I don't deal with skin politics, and I don't deal with rumors, in small town rumors. So I'm here to clarify some things. First of all, the 1,000 Men March and Family March. It has been changed from 1,000 men to a family. And I want to assure you that the day of the march, it is not an adversary or a person to throw stones at anybody. I'm here to collect the stones and try to make a place smoother so we all can enjoy it. The second thing I want to talk about is that that march itself is a day of prayer, commitment, atonement, that we as a community needs to come together and stop being so isolated with each other. If you looked on the sheet, those individuals who said they would speak that day is a representation of every ethnic group in this community. And I think it's time that we as a community in 2013 stand arm to arm, shoulder to shoulder, bring back some old traditional values of prayer, commitment to the community, commitment to family, commitment to decency, where all our kids have been very, most of our kids are earmarked for the prison system. I am so happy that the Boys and Girls Club will probably be opened up soon. I volunteer myself to be on the board if you're going to commit a board to move that situation forward. I am not here, and let me say this again, I am not here to throw stones. I'm here to be a part of this community. This is my home now. And if I cannot be a part of this community in a sense of fair play, value, and honesty, then I need to move. Because I cannot sit idly by and allow injustices take hold of this community. I'm here, it's not a black issue, it's not a white issue, it's not a brown issue, it's a community issue. And I'm here for the community. And if anybody says anything differently, they're lying. And I'm going to say it again. If anybody says anything different about Perry Elam, they are lying. I'm here to say on March 17th, join me, support the community. If you look on there, I've got every church, ethnic group available to speak, to be a part of a day of prayer, of a day of commitment, and a day of solidarity. This community has been divided for too long. It's time to bring it together under God. And that's what I'm about. I've given you my answer, I've given you mine. So when you hear from someone else, ask me, call me. My phone number, my email address is there. I would love to have coffee with anyone to give you my point of view and my auspices. The second thing I want to just bring to your attention, again, I'm very excited about the Boys and Girls Club. For too long, our youth have been suffering. We've got young men and young women leaving this community, and they don't come back to this community to lend their skill set, to lend their values, what they've learned in other places. It's time that we give them a chance to come back to this community and rebuild this community, strengthen this community, expand the tax base so that we don't have to depend on the federal government. We don't have to look for jobs outside of our community. We have more funeral homes, more nursing homes, more churches than businesses. What does that tell you? It is time that it's a day of prayer, even for our elected officials, for the guidance. The next thing on my agenda is the incident that happened at Waterbury. And most of you know about it, and it's no secret. You know, I've been involved in it because I believe in fair play. I believe in justice across the board. And I think that, speaking with Buddy Cross, that he has been a person of his word so far. He has given his word that he's going to be investigating, but I'm a little taken back by the quickness of the investigation. When none of the witnesses, none of the people who are involved were ever contacted. And I'm saying, how is that a fair investigation when you don't contact everybody that was involved? I'm looking again for fairness, for equity, treatment across the board, equitable application of laws, the processes across the board. And I'm asking this body, if nothing else, form a committee made up of citizens, and I would volunteer my time to even head that committee, to look into those allegations of mistreatment, misconduct of the police department. And I think if there's a power problem there, let's address it now before it manifests itself to take root into the community.
I appreciate that.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Billy Groves?
How y'all doing? Thank you, Mayor. My thing is, I'm here basically for the arrest of the young people that was arrested. I'm not fully available all the facts that were involved, but I think we need to shine a little more transparency. I've spoken with Buddy while we talked about it, and he's just getting on the job. But we don't want this problem to become systemic of our PD. I think we could issue a lot more citations, and we also need to look into this incident with put a closer lens on the incident, make sure it's done right, not to castigate anybody, not to throw blame on anybody, but it's something that happened and the community's upset. The reason I know they're upset, they call me. And when they call me, I must answer. And I'm speaking for the people. They didn't like the way those kids were arrested. I mean, young folks were arrested. There's just a lot of things just a lot of answers that questions that need to be answered, and they didn't feel like they got a sufficient answer from the Texas Rangers. Actually, a lot of people told me they from the onset that Rudy Flores and the Texas Rangers, if he's still with them, they didn't have any confidence whatsoever in him. But my thing is this. We're a beautiful community here, you know, an ethnic community made up of all different racial backgrounds. We can get along here, but we've got to set the right tempo right for the future. And respect is the building blocks of all of that. You got to have respect for everybody, regardless of racial or religious, whatever background differences that we have. This problem can be worked out, but there is a problem. The reason it's a problem, my phone keeps ringing. My phone keeps ringing, that means the community's upset. I'm just out here to just say, let's look into it. Let's look into it with more people examining it. Let's have a more discerning eye on this incident, because a lot of lives hang in the balance. The young man that was involved in, they're facing a rough go of it, and I know those guys. Most of them are good kids, you know, but they're kids, and we must understand in our policing how we deal with our young people. You know, a lot of times we can make a bad situation worse by, you know, exploiting it in the wrong way. I'm not saying that happened, but I'm saying that we need to look into it, and we have similar incidents, we'll be able to handle them better. Thank you for your time, appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. Pam Wells? Pam?
Good evening. I'm here also to speak about the incident at Waterbury. My nephew was one of the young men who was involved in the incident. And this investigation, while I appreciate the investigation, none of these people have been contacted. No one. I implore you all as city council, if you really want to know what was going on, look at some of the videos. And we've heard this. This has been played out in the media, and I think that's an age-old issue where you play your game, you put it out there beforehand, and you can give people an opinion beforehand. There's a lot of things that was not put out there, and it wasn't correct. We talked about formal complaints and what have you. Also tell the people that you hadn't made the information available. You've lawyered up is the bottom line. When you ask for information, you shouldn't have to file a complaint if you've been able to see what was going on. A lot of people may sit back and say, hey, everybody was wrong. If you look around, we all know, and especially with kids, my children, I know there's always three sides to any story, three sides. But I'm here to tell you that the Crockett Police Department, the Houston County Sheriff's Department, Grapeland Police Department, all those people who were out there, they showed a very ugly side that night. I implore all of you as city council members, ask that the videos be made available to you. And I guarantee you, if it was your child, your daughter, your son, your little husband, your wife, you wouldn't think that investigation was okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Was it Kelly Simpson? Is it Kelly?
To the mayor, the council, and the staff and the forum public. I was a witness to the events with the police with the situation at Waterbury. And for me, it's kind of hard to separate the emotion from the situation, because I'm not usually one to be out. However, that night I was, and to see our public servants lash out at our people the way they did. Like, I seen officers taunt people, saying words like, come on, MFer. I seen an officer punch guys. And I'm sorry, I can't justify these actions. And I just feel like to take college students and people who have the right you know, to not have their civil liberties taken away from them, to be thrown felony charges when I can honestly say that I witnessed officers act upon emotion. I just think that, you know, I just ask that you not be apathetic and just really take a look at this situation, because I witnessed it and I have not been contacted to say, you know, to act, you know, for my opinion or the facts. So I don't understand how any investigation can be launched one-sided. And I just feel like it's only fair that this be reopened and investigated and find out the truth. Because just because people are young, it doesn't make them not have a voice. Thank you.
Thank you for being here, ma'am. Thank you.